Hello, friends, and welcome back to lesson number 5. We'll continue discussing about inclusive growth in this video. This is the second video of this particular lesson. In the previous video, we have studied about the definition of inclusive growth, what are the various features of inclusive growth. Uh, to summarize, inclusive growth is a type of growth where every section of society, in fact the marginalized sections of society, they are also benefited out of the growth process. They are participant in the economic growth process, and they are also the beneficiaries of the economic growth process. So largely that is the definition of inclusive growth. Then we also saw that inclusive growth also means sustainability, meaning that there should be both intra-generational and intergenerational equity in growth. So these are some of the features that we saw about inclusive growth. Now in this video, we are going to see as to why really inclusive growth matters. Okay, why it matters for an economy or for a country. So the first point here is basically from the economic point of view, which is economic stability. Okay, so when we talk about growth, if the growth is not sustainable or if the growth is not inclusive, then it might not be a stable growth. So in order for having economic stability in the country, the growth must be inclusive, otherwise it will fail after a particular point of time. So for economic stability, inclusive growth matters. So equitable growth, meaning inclusive growth, reduces social tensions. How it does exactly? If there is a growth which is benefiting all the sections of society, so it reduces social tensions, meaning there will be less rivalries, there will be less riots, there will be less tensions in the different groups of society. It promotes stability by that. Okay, everybody is happy, everybody is working, everybody is earning also, so it promotes stability. It prevents unrest among various sections of society. So you can imagine that if there is unrest in the people, if the poor people or a particular section of people, if they are not benefiting, so it creates unrest in the society also because of exclusion and inequality. So there are various examples from the history also whereby because of such extractive growth which is not inclusive, there has been a lot of unrest and social tensions. So it is very, very important for having stability in the country. Inclusive growth is very, very important. Then the second one is enhanced productivity. So inclusive growth enhances productivity of the economy. How? Inclusion of marginalized groups increases the labor force. So obviously labor force participation will increase and harnesses untapped potential, boosting overall productivity of the country. So previously the sections of society or the regions of the country which were not participating in the economic growth, we were not tapping its potential, we were not actually utilizing their potential. Now we are able to do it. So definitely overall productivity of the country will increase because of that. Then we can also achieve the sustainable development goals. So it goes without saying, since inclusive growth acts towards reducing poverty, inequality, and helping the marginalized sections, also environment protection. So it helps in achieving sustainable development goals also. So it aligns largely with the SDGs, particularly goals related to poverty, inequality, and sustainable development, protecting environment, etc. Then social harmony, we have already discussed this. So it fosters unity by reducing disparities. If the inequalities and disparities reduces, then people feel that they belong to one another, integrating diverse groups into the economy. So there is obviously social harmony that is created. So these are some of the important points as to why inclusive growth matters in the country. Okay, so inclusive growth is essential for creating a prosperous, equitable, and sustainable society, thereby reducing social tensions, unrest, generating social harmony. And in order to achieve inclusive growth, we need a multidimensional approach by, having good economic policies, by bringing about social reforms, and also some reforms towards environmental sustainability. Now let us look at what is the role of inclusive growth in reducing poverty, inequality and unemployment. So we always talk about reducing poverty, inequality and unemployment in the country, and how inclusive growth helps in that. What is the role of inclusive growth in doing this, in achieving these goals? So first of all, as we know that inclusive growth refers to the economic growth which is distributed fairly across society, and it creates opportunities. So I'm again and again repeating this so that it clearly gets into your mind, the concept gets. So try to remember 2 points in inclusive growth. One is that the benefits of growth is distributed equitably, and second one is that opportunities for everyone. Okay, meaning everybody is having opportunity to participate, opportunities for everyone. So these two are important factors. Now it gives opportunities to various segments of the population. It plays a critical role in addressing poverty, inequality and unemployment through these mechanisms. Now how it reduces poverty? First of all, it leads to broad-based economic opportunities. Inclusive growth ensures that the benefits of economic development reach the marginalized groups, okay, such as rural population, women, low-income families, etc. So the growth that comes out of it is broad-based because it is spread across various different sections of the society. Then increased access to basic services. So we ensure that people get access to basic services like healthcare, education, housing, which results into direct upliftment of the poor. If we provide these basic facilities to the people, then there are various various studies also which have given the evidence that it leads to upliftment of people from poverty by improving their living conditions and productivity. Income redistribution also is a part of inclusive growth. So policies like progressive taxation, targeted welfare programs, what are these welfare programs? Like PDS we have, right? Public distribution system, which is under food security scheme. It channel resources towards underprivileged communities, reducing income disparity. So we give different types of scholarships also, different kinds of pensions also, like widow pension, disability pension, old age pension. So these are all welfare programs which results into income redistribution. Progressive taxation is also a policy for income redistribution. So now you can understand that what various policies of the government, they are actually focusing towards the inclusive growth. The ultimate target is achieving inclusive growth. Then obviously there is job creation in different sectors also. Inclusive growth focuses on labor intensive sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing to provide employment opportunities for the poor, enabling path out of poverty. So these are some of the ways in which inclusive growth helps reducing poverty in the country. Now the next one is how it helps in addressing inequality. Okay, how it helps in addressing how it helps in reducing the disparities in different sections of society and different regions of the country also. So first of all, it ensures equal access to resources. It professes equal access to resources. Ensuring equitable access to land, credit, technology and education empowers disadvantaged groups to participate in economic activities. So for example, we give credit to the poor people. So Pradhan Mantri Swanidhi scheme is a scheme which gives loans to the street vendors. Then there are other schemes also like Mudra scheme, which gives small loans to the women and marginalized sections and small businesses also. Then we provide free education also through our Right to Education Act, free compulsory elementary education. So these are the various ways in which we intend to provide equal access to resources for different groups of the people, especially the disadvantaged groups. Then we also focus on regional development, focused growth in underdeveloped regions, reduces disparities between urban and rural areas or between different states. So one example of this would be aspirational district program, aspirational block program. So these programs conceptualized by the Niti Aayog also is aiming towards having a regional development. So areas or districts or blocks which were previously underdeveloped or backward or aspirational, to which we call now are catching up because we are paying more attention towards them. Then there are areas where PVTG people are living, okay, particularly vulnerable tribal groups, okay, tribal areas, schedule 5 areas, scheduled areas. So there are special focus on this particular areas. More schemes are provided to them so that better access, better healthcare, better education, and better services are provided to such areas so that people get benefited and that region gets developed. Then skill development and education. This is another way to reduce inequality. Equal access to quality education and skill building programs equips underprivileged individuals to secure better paying jobs and participate in the economy. So again, this is another way through which we reduce inequality. Then we also have various social inclusion or social integration programs also, right, to integrate minorities, women and marginalized communities into the mainstream, which helps reducing the societal divides. Then the next one is how it helps in tackling the unemployment. Okay, so unemployment is another thing which we have to tackle, and how inclusive growth helps in achieving this by promoting entrepreneurship. So in inclusive growth encourages self-employment and small scale enterprises by providing financial support, training and market access. So there are various schemes for this, Mudra scheme, Pradhan Mantri Swanidhi scheme, then Skill India Mission, Pradhan Mantri, various schemes are there towards skill training and providing market access to rural people, especially to small scale enterprises, right? So these are the various schemes through which this is achieved. Sectoral growth, expanding labor intensive sectors like agriculture, construction and small scale industries helps absorb workforce, particularly in developing country. So inclusive growth helps in that way. Skill alignment with market needs, vocational training programs under inclusive policies align well workforce skills with market demand, reducing structural unemployment. So structural unemployment is an unemployment whereby unemployment arises because the skills that the workforce has, or the skills that the workforce have, do not match with the skills that the industries demand. So that results into structural unemployment. So if we do proper training and skilling of the workforce, then structural unemployment can reduce. So this is how unemployment will also reduce. And social protection programs, we have Manrega in India, like wage guarantees, unemployment benefits, public works programs towards temporary employment while addressing long-term skill gaps. So these are some of the ways in which inclusive growth helps in reducing poverty, inequality and unemployment. There are various case studies. Manrega is one where which is a rural employment scheme which ensures livelihood security for millions and millions of rural people in our country. So overall speaking, inclusive growth ensures sustainable development. Okay, so please, these are some of the keywords that you should always keep in mind. You can use it in your answer writing also. So it ensures sustainable development. How? By ensuring that there is cohesion in the society, social cohesion. Okay, social cohesion, reducing disparities. So disparities are reduced, creating more equitable society. So this is how development becomes sustainable. And through inclusive growth, we try to address the root cause of poverty. Okay, root causes of poverty, unemployment and inequality. So we try to address the root causes of these problems by empowering people by giving them a shared prosperity. And in order for this to succeed, we must ensure that inclusive growth must be complemented by transparent governance, okay, having good policies, transparent governance, good governance, obviously, robust institutions, which is again very, very important. Institutions must be robust in our country, and by having a participatory policy making. So there should be voice of the people that should be heard. So I am giving all these keywords to you so that you can use them during your answer writing. We'll continue about inclusive growth in the next video also. Thank you.